Hello everyone and welcome to Blaugrana Everything and welcome back to the channel and a match review as we look at how FC Barcelona finally followed the script of my last video, the match preview, just beating out Valencia with a 3-1 win at home at the Camp Nou. After the loss to Atleti prior to the international break and with El Clasico looming, Barca were presented with the opportunity of closing the gap to the Madrid clubs to just 2 points. And after looking like they were about to fumble, Barca managed to get the job done. However, with El Clasico set to go down next week, I'm personally still not convinced that Barca can come up big against Ancelotti's men. You'll see why later on. So, in this video, we're going to quickly look at the tactical setup from both teams before talking about Barcelona's performance on the night and discussing negatives and positives from the game, as well as picking out our man of the match. Quick reminder to hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video so you can stay up to date with all the coverage of all things Barcelona on this channel. There's a big week up ahead with a must-win encounter against Dinamo Kiev, followed by Europe's biggest rivalry, El Clasico, and I'm going to be covering all of that right here. Let's go ahead and look at the tactical setup from the two teams. Valencia set up with a 4-4-2 with quite a few changes and quite a few players we were not expecting. In goal, Silesen, a back four of Fokir, Gabriel, Diakabi and Gaia, the midfield four of Soler, Bas, Guillamon and Duro, and a front two of Gomez and Guedes. Barcelona, on the other hand, set up in a 4-3-3 with some surprising inclusions of their own. In goal, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, a back four of Roberto, Piqué, Garcia and Alba, a midfield three of Gavi, De Jong and Busquets, and a front three of Dest, surprise surprise, Depay and Ansu Fati. Let's now briefly look at how Barcelona performed in this game. Barca conceded an early goal after a golazo from Jose Gaia. It came as a result of a poorly cleared corner by Barcelona, and the Valencia keeper blasted a shot past an outstretched Marc-Andre ter Stegen from well outside of the Blaugrana penalty area. However, Barca reacted by going on the front foot and they were soon level after a golazo of their own supplied by their number 10, Ansu Fati. I had in my match preview singled out Fati and Depay as the ones to watch for Barcelona, and 7 minutes before the break, Barca won a penalty after a sweeping move that involved the pair. Depay dispatched the penalty in some style, blasting it past a helpless Silesen to give Barca the lead going into the break. Valencia spent the second half chasing an equalizer, which opened up the game further. Eventually though, Barcelona found their third and final goal of the game as Felipe Coutinho scored a much needed goal after some sublime work by Serginho Dest, who really relished the role on the right wing. Aguero then came on for Dest to a huge roar from the Camp Nou crowd, and Barca saw out the rest of the game. So now, let's talk about some negatives and positives from the performance. My negatives are not many. I only really had one, and it was the very worrying ease with which our defense gets opened up by any team with 2 or 3 players that can run fast. It was this very weakness that was our undoing against Atletico Madrid, and it was there to be seen on Sunday night as well, as Guedes and Soler opened up Barca time and time again with their running off the ball. I shudder to think what a team with strong runners like Benzema, Valverde, Vinicius and Hazard could do to our defense. So I guess I'm just saying I wasn't at all convinced by what the defense showed me. We still have the same frailties that Benfica and Atletico Madrid took advantage of not so long ago. Honorable mentions to the poor officiating. I didn't think it was a penalty. Obviously, VAR looked at it and they saw that Gaia made some contact with Fati's foot before he got the ball, but it was a soft one for me. I mean, seems like VAR here is just making the job harder for defenders, because like what else was Gaia supposed to do there? Anywho, I now move on to talk positives, which for me were first and foremost a good show of fighting spirit from the team. To fight back from one goal down to actually win the game, if Barca are going to end up finishing in the top 4, they'll need to do that a lot more times this season, and they'll need to show as much drive, desire, determination and clinicalness as they showed on Sunday night. I'm hesitant in saying that, but when I really look at the stats, it wasn't a bad showing from our attackers at all. My second and final positive was Memphis Depay and Ansu Fati. In my video previewing this game, I said, again I remind you, that Fati and Depay would be the two players to watch for Barca, and they both dazzled and delivered for the Catalans. Team performance on the night was far from convincing, but the dynamic duo up front managed to at least score enough goals for their team to make it across the finish line, and had they played together for more than an hour, they would have probably fashioned one or two more goals. I will now talk about the man of the match, and it was a tough one to call as I feel Barca's front three on the day put in some very good performances, but two of them in particular stood out, and it was the two who turned the game on its head for Barcelona in that first half. So I've got Fati and Depay sharing the very prestigious Blaugrana Everything Man of the Match title. Well, that does it for my match review. What were your thoughts on the game? What do you think were the game changes? And just, are you convinced by this team performance, and do you think this will be enough to get us through this tough run of fixtures that we have over the next 10 to 12 days? Thank you for tuning in, and do not forget to like and subscribe to Blaugrana Everything for more content. Have a great day, and Forza Barca.